very good painting morning to you all. I can't start quiet. I gotta just be about it.
It's 9 a.m., Mikey.
It's 9 a.m. It's beautiful. Right outside this window, our whatever tree.
It's a white flowers tree?
It's white flowers. It looks beautiful. It smells not as great as it looks, but it's kind of nostalgic. Yeah. Smell a little bit like pee, some people say.
That's because dogs pee on it all day.
Well, yeah, that's true. For me, though, I like it because we had this type of tree on our street growing up, and it's just a beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful.
Yeah, it takes up our entire window.
Their whole window is just tree.
White flowers. It's awesome. Gorgeous. Yeah.
White flowers.
What's up, Quicksand and Fuzzy Logic? How y'all doing?
Good morning, Steve. Steve, how was Strategicon this weekend?
Yeah.
Did you get some good games in? I know you were studying up to teach herb witches and stuff like that. So give me the rundown because I just never can go to those anymore ever.
Nah, you're too far away. You're legitimately far away from LAX.
It's never going to happen.
You are an hour and a half minimum with no traffic from LAX.
It's an hour. You know what the thing is crazy? If we're driving at 5 a.m., which we've done for flights and stuff, it's an hour and 6 minutes.
I guess it's not quite as long, yeah.
But it can be 2.5. No
minimum,
problem.
Yeah, it can
with
be.
Traffic.
It can take. So when I used to work down in Inglewood, which is just past LAX, and a good day would take me an hour and a half to get there from Santa Clarita, right. And it's, without traffic, it's 30 minutes.
And so they're just let's put a convention there. One bad idea someone had 30 years ago, and they just kept doubling down on it. Strategicon,
they really did.
I have no problem saying is pretty awful. It's what we got, and it's good for playing.
I think it's fine. I think the convention is fine. I just think it has a terrible location.
It's poorly run, and it's not interesting or fun.
What would you want it to be? It's a small convention.
I'd want it to have the whole upstairs area that's actually big.
But see, that's my thing. Is the problem is with the location.
Yeah, but it's also they could flip those rooms,
I guess,
and they just don't ever change anything. And it's not easy. It's a lot of it's from the location.
Yeah, I think.
But then it comes down to leadership because they never ever change.
Yeah, that's true. They have it how it is. Yeah, I think they need a location change. Other than that, I think they're a fine convention. I just think it needs a location change.
It's stale. That's my problem. It's stale.
Yeah, but I think a lot of conventions are that way. They're always exactly the same. I don't necessarily think that's a Strategicon problem.
Nick works for Strategicon.
No, I'm just trying to say.
GenCon, baby.
Yeah.
Always gets bigger, always gets better. That's
true.
What I'm saying.
That's true. I do think Strategicon
Am I going to go to Strategicon if I could go? Yeah. But it's just, I get frustrated every time.
Yeah. That's fair.
Lack of food and drink options.
Yes. Again, to me, it's
one cart for $5 terrible nachos.
It's location. They need to move that so badly.
Yeah.
Because it would solve almost all their problems. Yeah. It would, but
change location, change personnel, all of it. That's all.
I just hating on it.
I'm hating on it this morning, dude. Because I get frustrated, man. It could be better.
Could be better.
Should be better. If we didn't have Steve and the fam up in there, I probably wouldn't go.
Yeah, it's a convenient place to meet friends.
I want it to be better like GenCon, baby.
Started each game with a big game. Friday was Teotihuacan. Saturday was Underwater City. Sunday's Maracaibo. I'm still tired from doing a 16-hour day on Sunday.
Jeez,
what's up, Back Bacon? What's up, Castro?
Nice.
Played Sierra West and Res Arcana with Visor and Tall Handsome Dan. Checks out.
Oh, handsome. The handsome.
The two skyscrapers right there.
Just some big boys.
It's some skyscrapers, but they're both tall people.
Breathing different air up there, man. Tell you what.
I'm excited for AirCon. Been 9 months since my last con. I'm excited for
AirCon.
Logic.
My whole
Super
life
excited.
Since last AirCon.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's been a long time since England too. It's been at that point it'll be almost 11 years.
15 for me.
Yeah,
half my life ago. Damn near.
Yeah. It's wild. I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
Up until
to see Harrogate, the lovely town of Harrogate.
No jealous. Up until this cruise. That we just went on. I hadn't been out of the country, period, since that Europe trip. So that's a long time.
I don't think
I've traveled a lot in that time, but it's always been within the States.
Yeah,
which has been cool.
Have I been out of the country? I haven't been out of the country either since then. No, because I had to renew my passport because.
Well, since your Europe trip.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, since my Europe trip. Yeah.
It's
the same thing.
Steve says, yes, now I know how dwarves feel. Little dwarves in the mountains, clinking away. Like, what are you doing, tall man? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's good. I didn't mean to crap on Strategicon.
No, it's fine. Honestly, I totally agree. It's like I think it's totally fine. I think it's like, sure, like, could it be run a little bit better? Could it be more interesting? Sure.
The reason I get frustrated...
I don't think it's a con that needs to be anything other than just sitting around playing games.
No, I don't want it to be. I just want it to be better at doing that one thing.
Yeah, totally.
It doesn't even do that one thing well.
Yeah, but the thing is, if they move all the open game into the big area up front, then all that stuff's going to have to go down to the bottom. And it's still going to be an issue because then...
it's smaller. Is anyone using it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do a lot of stuff up there. I think they do a lot of teach and plays. They're all downstairs, which is going to be a huge nightmare because all these people need to figure out where it is. I agree. I just think a location change would solve.
I mean, yeah, they need to move for sure. It's. I mean, that really is the answer. Which, I know stuff is expensive and they have a deal and all that, so it's not. I could sit back here all day and be like, it should be this and this and this.
Yeah,
which it should be, but
we're not the ones.
It's just I get frustrated because I'm like, we live in Los Angeles.
Yeah, you do have a bevy of options.
And it's a huge city that should have one of the biggest conventions in the world because it's one of the biggest places in the world. Instead, we have...
It's pure logic, people.
One of the smallest, least known about ones. I'm like, it doesn't match
it's
where
not,
we
that's
live.
The crazy thing is like, because of the location, it's not that small. Like, it's like 12 to 1,500 people.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is as big as a lot of, like, conventions that get a lot more recognition. And it's 3 times a year.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's like...
I mean, like... It's like I want them to feel on themselves and get bigger and feel big and bad because it could.
I agree. I wish it was bigger too. We need a big West Coast convention. That's why I like Dice Tower West because it's close to the West Coast. It's on the west side at least.
Closest equivalent.
And it's gonna be getting bigger because Tim wants to get it bigger, and I'm like, good, thank God.
That's what I'm talking about.
What's up, Eliani?
Get some vendors up in there. You know what I'm saying? GenCon has exactly 0.
Yeah, they have a lot of local vendors. Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah,
and I don't want to push them out because there's some cool stuff. But I'm like, dude. Again, it's Los Angeles. You can't get a game company?
No. It's not worth it to get booth space, I don't think.
Could be if they were big and bad about themselves.
I agree. Yeah, they had a location change.
Just saying.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree.
Steve says, I'm driving to Dice Tower West because I have to leave first thing Sunday because my stepdaughter will be in town. Well, that's awesome. Nice. Reason to have to leave early. Not even early, really. Sunday's kind of like
we got to figure out what... I know we're leaving directly... It's a week from
1 week from this moment.
From this,
well,
2 hours from this moment. Yeah. Right after our stream on Wednesdays when we're heading out that way because we got to stream and then we're gonna be heading out right afterwards. Back Bacon said Indy is lucky to have GenCon.
Yes,
yeah, Indy. I mean, I know they will do anything they can to keep.
And that's
Gen
part of the
there.
thing is like if a board game convention want to do something big, like the city is not going to do anything for that because they're like, yeah, but also the Lakers, they make us more money than you will, and so I get that.
Well, it's one of those reasons why like we always say like GenCon should move to Vegas,
like, no.
And they're like, and I think the logic of a lot of these big conventions is like it's like why, like in Vegas, like GenCon's a massive convention, but it won't be the biggest convention in Vegas in the year. Like Vegas has because it's Vegas, it's a convenient place for conventions. They're like we'll be a drop in the bucket to Vegas because of the tourism and then also the fact there's so many conventions, not even at the convention center, but each hotel can house their own massive convention.
Yeah.
It's like Caesar's Palace right now is building like the biggest pillarless room, like convention hall. That's a thing apparently. But it's like going to be this massive convention center just at Caesar's. So it's like I totally get it being like, yeah, we don't want to go to Vegas because like we want a city to be happy that we're there. Vegas won't care. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Like,
yeah, and Indy is like worked out. I'm just griped because I'm like, I want it to be closer.
Oh,
that's a very selfish position to take.
Yeah. Everything is walkable at GenCon.
It's
that's
cool.
100% true.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons also why I like Vegas, because you can just walk around. And where StreetCon is by LAX, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's a couple hotels, and that's literally it.
The 1,200 people all walk down the street to Carl's Jr. and so it's just
it's
awful.
Rough. Yeah. I'm just glad Ohio has origins. Yeah, and Columbus is a nice city too. Really looking forward to attending the first time and meeting you crazy. Oh, we'll be there, Castrell. You know it. We'll be there with Board Game Geek. Yeah, Origins is good.
Harried and whatnot, probably.
Got really walkable too. Columbus is really walkable, which is nice.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, really,
or whatever it is.
You have the market, and then but up and down the street, it's more like higher end restaurants. But there's like a nice pizza place across the street that again is always slammed.
Yeah, sure.
But
when they're walkable, you can walk a little further out, which I'm always down to do, and then it gets quiet.
You get 2 blocks out, and no one's there.
Yeah, and it's like it's nice that there's a couple options down the way. You know, Steve says I think Strategicon has filled the space. In order to grow, it has to.
Yeah. It's been filled that.
The thing I gotta say, I guess I gotta maybe they don't want to grow.
Yeah, maybe
that
not.
doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't compute. But like maybe they're like, no, this is good.
It's one of those things like because
fine.
they do that convention 3 times a year, they may not be able to.
Yeah,
They might be like, for us to do this con 3 times a year, this is the max we can be.
maybe. My vote would be do it twice a year and do it bigger.
Yeah,
Do it
I
once a year
totally
and do it
agree. I
huge.
totally agree. But it is nice
But-
that it's 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Like, it is really nice.
Well, it means I have like a lot of a chance of actually making one because I have 3 shots out of a year. I'm 0 for 2.
I mean, my guess is
this year, but the third one I might do.
that no one who works at Gen Con, that's their, not Gen Con, Strategicon, that's their full-time job. I think if they moved
it
it
isn't, yeah.
and had 3 and they were trying to make it bigger, they would start having to have, like, that would be people's jobs, would just be Strategicon, because it happens so often, comparatively.
Yeah, you'd always be gearing up for the next one.
Yeah, like, which is not a bad thing if they could afford to have, like, full-time employees.
It's what I'm saying. So we're talking con logistics today, by the way.
That's the top for today. Con logistics while we paint minis. Shall we start painting, Mikey?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, we do that an hour in.
Damn.
Really warm up the paint.
What happened?
Hey.
Oh no, it's here. I'm just off here. I was like, what happened? It looked like it was.
I like how Nick. I mean, it makes sense, but like
No, I forgot.
Nick's like, I'm gonna take all that, and Mike
forgot
is
to
just the
change it.
third. I don't need more space because
Nah,
I'm
you
not
do.
doing any interesting painting. I'm doing beginner painting. I'm not unhappy with this guy though. His boots are a little matte and sad, so I'm gonna have to. I want to get him some. I want him to shine them up. Maybe it's got to do another coat.
Of what? What's wrong with
Their
your boots?
Their poor little boots are a little like
You can
a
shine them
little
up.
matte. They look a little run
Well,
down.
keep in mind, we can put some Ard Coat on it. Ard Coat's a gloss varnish.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Because
I'm thinking
again,
maybe
they're like
coat.
sealskin boots. They actually are shiny, and they're presumably wet too.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it doesn't come across quite so. But I'm like, they're looking a little worse for wear, man. I'm like, I figure this little Bone Devil guy with his little squid friend is gonna take pride in his boots.
Pride in his boots.
Pride in his boots. I mean, he's missing
So-
half of a boot, but the other half
He
really
is,
likes a
you
lot.
know. You guys can buy out Strategicon and rebrand as the Bing Bong Con. Honestly, hashtag
Let's go.
not against that concept.
Maybe
Dice
someday.
Tower bought out MeepleCon. We would not have that money, but that would be a fun idea. It's not a bad idea, honestly. So we have painted at this point a number of these Bone Devils from Cool Mini or Not.
Nick painted these guys before, which I'm just showing.
I painted those dudes before. The Bosons. So this is gonna be our last day, at least for now. We may always come back to
It's gonna be we're
to
gonna
Rum and
retire
Bones.
Rum and Bones.
We're gonna
for a
retire Rum and
while.
Bones. We've done it now for like 4 or 5 sessions. We've painted a decent amount of them. Certainly not all of them. And so we're gonna switch it out next week. We're actually probably gonna do some building, maybe some painting. At the very, very least, I'd like to build one, just to kind
I've
of
never
show you.
built a mini.
Show you, but so we're gonna do some Games Workshop corn daemons.
Do they eat corn?
No,
Are they hidden in
they are
fields of
corn,
corn?
KHORN. They're not corn like the band, and they're not corn like the vegetable. Unfortunately,
Come on, man.
so there's no backwards R.
Come on. I wanted them just to be like in fields of corn. That's creepy.
It is creepy. You're
You
not
find
wrong.
a demon in a cornfield.
Yeah.
You dead.
So corn, they're like bad guys. They're
You have to really get the age. Corn demons.
So we're gonna be doing that next week. We're gonna be building at least like one, and then we maybe will have
Maybe
like
it's a
a couple primed up,
demonstration.
just
Yeah.
so that we can start painting. So we're gonna do that for a little bit. Generally, how we're thinking about doing these is we're kind of gonna switch it up a lot because it can just get boring to watch us paint the same. Like there are a lot of minis in Rum and Bones, probably like 100 or so.
If
like,
we're only painting generally during this stream
2
we're
hours a
doing
week.
these
I
Rum and
paint
Bones.
outside of the
Nick
stream
does
a lot.
but he's not painting Rum and Bones. He's
No.
painting higher level stuff than what I can do. So if we're trying
We got 2 hours a
if we're
week
trying
to
be
paint.
completionists on projects, it's going to take a long time, and I doubt it'd
Like,
be great TV.
real talk.
So
yeah, real talk. It would take us most of the year to get through Rum and Bones. If we and then especially if we did all the heroes and all like the stretch goal heroes, it would
Yeah.
literally take us an entire year to do it.
Yeah.
And we don't want to make you watch us paint the same thing over and over and over again. So we're gonna be switching it up. We're probably never going to, at least as of right now, probably never gonna paint a whole game unless that game has like 4 minis in it. You know?
yeah, one thing I was thinking, like someday it might be cool to do like Horrified because there's only the monsters.
Yeah, exactly. Or like Scythe or something like that. There's a very
the
limited
heroes
amount of
or something,
stuff, you know. But it's one of those things where it's like we're probably never gonna paint a whole thing. We're probably gonna switch it up. And so if there's anything you want us to paint, any games or any like Games Workshop stuff or like
Use the restroom
Reaper,
real quick
go ahead.
before we go.
Reaper stuff, let us know. Let Gen Con know. We can probably make it happen. But again, just know that we probably won't ever complete anything because it's would get boring after a while. You know, it's one of the things like I know painting something over and over and over again can get boring after a while. And watching it, I can only imagine, also gets boring after a while. In the future, I would love it if you would paint the Tidal Blades minis. I would actually really enjoy painting the Tidal Blades minis. We got to get the game first, but absolutely, I would love to do that. I'm sure we could. There's not that many minis in that, which is great, because that just makes it so we can actually paint it. These big minis games, I mean, we only have really one that's fully painted, and that's War of the Ring. We used to have Zombicide, which is totally painted, but those were the original Zombicides, which we actually ended up getting rid of. And Zombicide Black Plague, I haven't painted because there's a billion minis in it. I'm just like, and again, it gets tedious when you're painting the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. I know that because I'm painting Stormcast Eternals for my roommate David, and I highly enjoy painting those minis. It's great, but at this point, I've painted I'm not wetting the tablecloth. I have a paper towel here. You just can't really see it because it's white on white. I've at this point painted like 36 or almost 40 of those Stormcast Eternals. Here's the thing with Stormcast Eternals. Yeah, they're very slightly different from Stormcast Eternal, but they're basically exactly the same. Every single one of them. Gold armor, that kind of stuff. And so it can get a bit tedious to paint the same thing over and over and over again. And so we do want to switch it up. Also, the way you paint these guys would be very different than something like Scythe, or especially something like My Little Scythe that has kind of like the chibi minis. You have to paint those in a totally different way. And so since Mike is kind of like the person learning how to paint, we want to switch it up as much as possible, so that Mike learns as much as possible. There's times for everything. We're going to do a little bit of building next week. I want him to be building minis. We also want to start doing some terrain and basing, that kind of stuff. I kind of want to put him through the ringer and teach him a whole bunch of different stuff. Not to mention, I just really, really love basing miniatures. I mostly paint miniatures so I can make dope bases. But that's mostly my job and care, is painting dope bases. Okay, so this is a guy I have base coated and washed. And so he's got these kind of like yellowish pants. Sorry, I'm trying to figure my placing. So he's got these kind of like yellowish pants. He's got a blue kind of sash. He's got like a bright red cloak, which I'm going to make pretty darn red. And then some black boots. And so let's go and get started. Grim Forest and One of Them War are also on my list. Yeah, I want to paint Grim Forest. We actually don't have Grim Forest, though. We got to hit up the Huddy.
Gotta hit Huddles.
Huddle.
Give me them pigs.
Huddle doody do.
Give me them pigs.
Give me the pigs, man.
Give me the pigs, man.
All
okay,
right.
Nick.
What,
Can you diagnose my mini?
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
I don't know. What?
Is there anything wrong with it?
Well, no, but I got a little bit of bone bleed onto my jacket there. I got a little bit of messy painting.
Yeah.
Do you care? Do you think, at this stage, how do you think I ought to proceed?
Let me take a look at it real quick.
Next step?
I think I know the answer already, but let me double check to...
I'm thinking maybe a couple touch-ups, but maybe just highlights. I want to shine up those boots, like I said. This is where I get, it's painted! I don't know.
Okay, so...
I don't have the eye for it
So
yet.
Mike is talking about, he's got a little bit of skin bleed. I don't know how well you can see it in...
It's not that visible.
Up in there. There's a little skin bleed. My thing is, you have a little bit of bleed onto the pants here of the belt. Here's the thing. What I'm looking at, do I need to touch this up before I start highlighting or something like that? Or really before I washed? Washing is when I'd usually touch up things like this.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is to am I going to cover this up when I'm highlighting? If the answer is yes, then there's no point in covering up now.
Oh, okay.
I think both of these, at least this spot and this spot, you will cover up when you highlight.
Okay. Sweet.
Or you can also just cover it up. Even if your highlight, it shouldn't necessarily go that far. Do it anyway. Who cares? It's the good thing about these minis specifically is they are grungy. So if they look kind of grungy,
I don't mind the look. I think the little bit of satchel stuff that kind of blend on the coat is just kind of cool and whatever.
Yeah, and it's just touched up during your highlight phase. Generally, I will do touch-ups before I wash.
Sure.
But it doesn't actually matter. It depends. Again, it depends on where it is. If it's on a spot on the cloak that's like billowing out. Like I know I'm gonna be hitting that with a ton of highlights. So to me, I'm like, what's the point of me?
All right, so then I think I'll move on to some highlights and stuff. Now I probably used one of those oranges yonder. I probably used.
You probably used
that top right one. You think so?
Yeah, because you.
So to highlight, I should start with this first, right? And then go to maybe that one that's a little bit...
Yes, and then we'd probably start throwing some yellow into it.
Okay.
If you want to do a third one.
So, remind me. So I want things that are going to be hit by the sun, right? So this is going to get a big highlight right there. Yes, it will. The edges here and a little bit of that. This right there.
Yep.
Maybe you can also look and get a little bit of that.
As a reference... one that's done before to kind of see if you want to see like that. But basically, again, you can look at it from directly above. And these guys are very on top of themselves. But basically, anything that's sticking out is going to get a big highlight because that's the part the sun is going to hit.
I'm going to get all these little edges, too. I think you probably did that.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful.
Beautiful, baby. Stuff. Bow, 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 bow.
Steve, what was the game, if you're still here, what was the game of the con for you? You played a whole
darn con.
That was, you played a lot of good stuff, but was there this was the moment?
This is the moment. So I'm going to start with the pants here. I'm going back to my base coat.
Base coat pants.
Hey, go! I am having a hard time finding my shot.
Find your light, find your shot.
So the pants I'm not going to highlight a ton just because they're not really in a spot where they'd get a ton of highlights, but I just want to punch them up a little bit. I'll probably do like two. Also because I don't want them to become like yellow. I want them to stay this kind of orangish yellow.
Yeah.
And the problem is if I keep highlighting it, I'm going to have to either add white or yellow to it, which means it will just basically turn more and more yellow. So I want them to stay kind of orangey. There's not going to be a ton I'm going to do to them. Which is fine. Everything's fine. So I have a friend who said they're interested in painting my scythe, which is a bonus. I couldn't paint a wall. I disagree with that. I think everyone can paint. I fully think that everyone can paint miniatures. But nonetheless, that's still very cool for you that you have a friend who wants to paint scythe. Scythe is fun to paint because it's so... everything's dirty. It's nice.
It is kind of the world, right?
Yeah, it's easier to paint stuff that looks grungy because if you have a not perfect paint job, if you have stuff that's a little bit sloppy, it's not very smooth, it's actually a better thing. So Scythe is great because you essentially put on a base coat, at least on the mechs that I've done, put on a base coat, put on some like dark brown washes, essentially make it look really dirty, and then do some highlights, but you don't want the highlights to be too much because the more highlights you do, the more it's going to smooth it out and make it look cleaner, and you kind of don't want that. And then you can do a bunch of like chipping effects and stuff like that to just basically make it look all the paint's chipped away.
Chip it!
And it's really fun. And I think they're pretty easy minis to start on. And I've been wanting to paint the characters for Scythe, but we haven't gotten around to it. I want to do all the mechs first, and then I was going to do the characters.
I have a question.
Yeah, but...
So... I've done a couple little highlights here. Now, this could be because the paint is wet, but I can see like such a distinct line. Will that not become quite so clear as the paint dries, you think? Like, look at that. See? Or should I like dry my brush and kind of pull it down to sort of fade it a little bit? You know what I mean? Like right here in that top line, for example. Which
that top line, so you can fade it out a little bit.
That's a good way to do it. I was thinking like if I dry the brush and sort of like pull some
so dry the
out.
brush, or even just, you want it to be a little bit damp. But yeah, and then essentially it's what's called feathering. So you're going to feather that edge. Yeah, so that's why I like to have not the paper covering the entire thing. Because this is a good way to wet your brush with a little bit of water. And so you kind of just, the edge, you kind of go like this. And just feather it out, yeah. And just kind of feather it out, and just, you can feather it out, but keep in mind that a lot of paints, when they're wet, are much brighter intense, than they are. Especially reds. Blues too, oranges as well, but reds particularly.
You're saying that's true. Every time you start painting red, you're like, oh God, what'd I do?
Instantly I mean, I can show you on this cloak right here when I do it. Like, I have an absolute panic moment every single time I paint red when I'm doing highlights, because I always think I went too hard too fast. And I'm always fine. because it dries so much darker than it actually is. So reds particularly, you have to go off of faith. And orange will be that way too. It will dry much darker than it actually is. Not too much darker. So it's one of those things you can't just go whole hog with it. But it's one of those things where you kind of have to go off of faith a bit. So I'm just doing a second highlight here on my pants. Just to punch up a couple spots. Again, these pants are more or less all in shadow, so I'm not going to do a ton. I just want to have... these pants have, like, I don't know what they are. Like, bands on them or just wrinkles or something. I don't know, but I'm basically highlighting those.
Steve said, not really a big moment. The bigger games had at least one new player, so extra work. Played some games new to me. A Richard Garfield game. Carnival of Monsters, which is good. A good drafting game. Walking in Burano is a nice little game. I wanted to try that. This looks pretty.
I need to move this over here.
Introduced Fleet the Dice game, and that got a great reception because it's amazing.
As it should.
Like Faith by Limp Bizkit. Krug. Yeah, I know it is. Sometimes you just gotta have faith. Wake up, you want to punch stuff or whatever it is. Crook, literally leave work and come out to Ventura now.
Dude, you don't even like that job,
dude. Just come hang out, man. That's interesting. Yeah, see, it's you are an absolute champion that in that you study up to be able to teach people, which I think is really an amazing thing. That you're like, I'm happy to like introduce people to a game, even though it is going to make more work for you. Even though, it might affect your own play because you're trying to answer questions, you're trying to make sure people are making like good plays and things like that. So I really appreciate that you're always so eager to teach games, because that could be a big thing, man. Steve is the GOAT.
Not much if you're always teaching games and that's like kind of what you're doing. You're not necessarily always playing the games you want to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, especially if Steve brings a big collection of games to him, so it's like, oh my god, I've always wanted to try that, and maybe Steve's like hoping to play this game today.
Yeah.
And luckily at a convention there's plenty of time, so it's like, but it's you're like, oh
yeah, it can be kind of like, oh man, I wanted to play this. That happens sometimes for like
a bad thing, but
be completely honest, like I really wanted to play this, but people want us to teach them something, and I'm like, not that I'm like, oh, I feel.
Steve says, no, I play the ones I won't.
He just wants to play everything. Steve's the best. He's the GOAT, as he said, the GOAT of all
GOAT
time.
Patrol. I'm gonna get a little more gold from my squid. I knew I'd have to do a couple layers from my squid. Yeah, I just appreciate what you do, man.
Yeah, Steve's the best. Where's my brush? Okay. One thing, wear brushes or wear headphones, big earmuff headphones, because then my keys go.
Dude,
hold it right there. This is the greatest thing I ever discovered. Again, you have headphones, you have a hat, something like that. Paint. Boom. You can have paint still on this.
You totally could.
And it's not near my face. I go boom. Or what I do is I have like multi-brush. I have my mixing brush here. And I just go like boom, mix stuff.
Don't wash out, pal, like Bob Ross.
Yeah, exactly.
Put it all on your hat.
So yeah, honestly, I do that. Or I wear earmuff headphones when I'm painting at home. And it's like, yeah, I just go bam. And it's perfect.
Crook says, I feel like Tom David should just blow off this weekend and just play Lord of the Rings Journey in Middle-earth.
Dude.
I mean,
we're going to be at a wedding, but yeah.
I mean, I feel like we can convince him. It's like, dude, push the wedding back, bro.
See, David loves that game. He's fine.
He loves that game. Or let me just holler at him like, what are you doing during the reception? Nothing? Great. Let's play some
Nothing? You dancing with your beautiful wife?
We'll Skype Crook in.
How boring.
Just play that.
So I'm just putting up one last highlight on just these bands because I want them to stick out a lot. That's it. And these pantaloons are done. Again, we're not painting these to any kind of like really high standard.
Hey man, it's the highest standard I've ever
They're just
done.
Minions. That's true.
Look at my golden squid.
I love your golden squid.
That's how you know I've been playing too much like Luigi's Mansion and stuff. You can suck up everything and it just explodes and turns into money. And I'm like, this squid is pure money. If
like Arcadia Quest.
Just photo blast that guy. Yeah.
What game is this, Crookie? This is Rum Bones, fool. You should know that.
Mike paints it so horribly it does not look like that game anymore.
The game I didn't play that I want to is Castell. Well, Steve, we'll play it at Dice Tower West, baby.
Yeah, let's set that.
You know, we're always
so excited. Like, I know I'm sorry I opened up with a negative on Strategicon. I think part of it's just jealousy. I wanted to,
You wanted to be there.
I want to be there. That's probably. I'm sorry. Probably good because I'm going to go to another layer. Let me get some highlights. Yeah, I'm gonna have that for later. I'm gonna let that dry for just a hair more. Let me get. What's a good way to highlight some of these browns? Just want to get a little couple. Just like,
what did you use for the beginning? Do you know?
I don't have a good memory for those things.
I'm guessing you use X-Fade because this is my go-to leather brown.
Yeah.
So I would say base with that.
Okay.
So basically, for the most part, if you're using a wash,
always return.
You go back to the base. Is basically what I always do. Go back to the base.
How do you remember? Is it just because you're familiar enough with the colors?
I literally, because here's the thing about...
once you said XP, I'm like, yeah, I remember that name now. But
yeah, so the thing about our paints, or my paint, or our paints at this point, but my paints is, I have had these exact paints for years at this point. And there's every once in a while we're like, man, I really need like a purplish blue. So I'll go out and get like that specific color. But for the most part, I don't have that many paints. I just mix paints when I want something. Like if I want a yellowish green, I take a green, I take a yellow, and I mix it. You don't need Citadel's full line of paints. You just don't. Like you can just mix whatever color you need. That every once in a while there's something specific that I use a lot. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get that color. Yeah. But so for me, I just used and mixed these paints that I've had for so long that I just know if I use a dark purple, I only have 3 purples.
Yeah,
I have light purple, medium purple, dark purple.
Shot of getting the right one.
So it's like I know what I used, you know. And then I would like to get more paints because it would just make my palette. It's like having more markers. It's like I can just mix markers.
It's more options,
but it's like it's more options and it's easier. But at the same time, like
that's what you're buying, aren't you? I mean, you're buying ease. Like,
yes.
Some people probably have like I have no interest in mixing paints. Yeah. I don't know how to do that.
You could get 2 greens, 2 yellows, 2 reds, 2 blues, the 2 of each of the primary colors, and be fine. And then a couple browns, it'd be fine. The issue is I have our paint holder here. I'm just gonna mess up my whole thing, so you can see this is how we hold our paints. It's a paint holder by Hobbies. I know it's really out of focus. I'm sorry about that. But so there is
hi. That's my hand.
There is a limited amount of space in this thing. There's probably space for maybe
10 more paints?
Nah, probably like 20, because a lot of these are like all mediums that I have. I could put those somewhere else. They don't necessarily need to be on here. Okay. But I have space for maybe 20 more paints, but I can't get any more of these.
Why? Oh, because of table space.
Because of table space. Like on this table, we could have some more of these straight ones because all of these are magnetized.
Yeah, which is
so you can
just modularly build whatever shape you want.
So we could if we were painting here, but at home I can't. My table is only so big. In my table, this brush one is actually usually over here.
Yeah. Is it really not? It's
literally
with a big easel.
It's exactly to the end of my table, my mini painting table is that thing like that. So I literally can't get more of those.
Yeah,
because unless I get a bigger table. Yeah, so it's like
Emma up in here. What it do?
What's up, Emma?
Hello.
And I am going to start highlighting this close. I'm gonna start with Mephiston Red. So Mephiston Red, Mike, you'll see this is a pretty dark red.
Yeah.
It looks light on the camera. It's darker than it looks. You'll see when I put this on here, it is going to look screaming bright.
Right. Steve said, I was told the secondary market for Dice Tower West tickets is soft. People sell them for below cost.
Probably.
And I keep trying to tell Crook because I'm just like, I know I was bummed when you're like, I can't get enough time off work because I was just like, dude, just come. We'll figure it out. Just come. And I'm still putting that out there.
Just come.
I know you can't, but like, dude, do it. Anyway, come to Dice Tower West, bro. We got you.
Have Kimmy come. You can stay at home.
Come. Yeah, you can say, but it's fine. She's got plenty of time. She's got time on her hands, dude.
Kimmy didn't do nothing right now.
She's never doing anything. All right, let's do this thing. Let's highlight this satchel. What's it called when you true up your edge, right?
I don't. I was just
that way you
making a point. I don't. True up your edge is a good way of putting it. But yeah, I just make a point.
What am I referencing? There's something where I've heard you say that before.
True up an edge.
Yeah, if it's not that, then like maybe something Pop said, but I can't remember like what's it. When would you true up an edge?
I don't know.
Probably like sharpening a knife or something. He said. But I thought that was just a cool.
Because I'm using that true up your edge. I like that.
Yeah, true up your edge, man.
I like that a lot.
I don't know.
So this looks super bright. It's really not. See, it's like here. It looks really, really bright. This one's not too bad because I'm going back to Mephiston Red, but like. There are many times with the red you were just like, oh my gosh, this is...
What have I done?
Yeah, like literally just like, what have I done? I just killed everything, which is untrue because in mini painting you're never done. You can always just paint over something.
It is kind of comforting to know.
Yeah, it's forgiving.
You're never dead in the water. You can always strip it if nothing
and that's
else.
The thing is because you can paint over it and over it, and eventually you will start losing details because you're putting more and more layers of paint on it. But once you get to that point, you can always just strip it and go again, and it's very easy. Everyone should mini paint. It's great. Very cathartic.
Emma asks, "How are you both doing?" I'm doing.
Emma,
well.
we're good. We get to see you soon. We're very excited.
Oh yeah! If anyone doesn't know, at AirCon, Emma's gonna come party with us during our live show.
Party.
It's gonna be really awesome, man.
So I'm basically coming off this entire cloak again. Just BT dubs.
Okay, just get it bright.
Yeah, well, this one doesn't have many folds in it.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's much more smooth.
Yeah, this one's got a lot of cool detail.
Yeah, I really like that cloak. That cloak again. I always tell companies, I'm like, you want to make a cool mini, give them a cool cloak.
Give them a cool cloak with some folds.
Cool cloaks make cool minis.
Crook says, "I wish." Oh, dude, I want to. I know it's like, we're all 30-something people. I probably shouldn't be like, ditch work, bro. Ditch it, bro. But I really want to so bad.
Ditch work, dude. I don't care, man. GenCon knows we're rebels, Yeah.
Ooh, Steve says, to paint, I will grow my own flowers, mine my own minerals to make paints from scratch. Also, you get some animal fat.
Yeah.
A little bit of blood. That'll make for some good paint right there.
That's right.
Crush up some charcoal. We used to do that at the museum. We would do a Chumash program where we teach about the Chumash people or a local
tribe, yeah.
Tribe from Southern California and up to Santa Barbara and to the east and stuff a bit, and they would travel. We'd kind of go to the ocean and back. And there's cave paintings.
That's all right.
Yeah, around the area and stuff.
Really? I didn't know that. Are they Chumash?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I'd love to see those.
Yeah, they're really cool.
That's super cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so we would talk about it. We'd kind of talk about the Chumash people, their way of life. Kind of the day to day was the same as how we live. No, they didn't have TV. They didn't have internet and stuff like that.
You're teaching kids,
And we talked, and then to kind of transition into storytelling and how do they tell stories if they don't have YouTube channel.
Oral history, yeah.
It was oral history and
without
stuff,
YouTube,
and then they had a written history or artistically done with these cave paintings and stuff. And so it was all about symbols because people have been trying to interpret, what does this symbol mean and things. Yeah, and what was the story they were trying to tell for hundreds of years now. And we got to make our own dyes and practice making symbols and stuff. We kind of finger painting, but we'd crush up charcoal. We'd crush up talc and stuff to do exactly that. Add some water, Steve, and we'd grind up some minerals in a mortar and pestle and make our own little dyes and things. And yeah, super cool. We were talking about. I always like to ask kids what else do you think you could do? We can crush up berries in there. I'm like, yeah, they'll probably get a sweet red or a purple.
Yeah.
It's awesome because it's
that's literally how pigments are made. Yeah,
would have done. And then I was with they use blood a
lot. There's this yellow pigment. I think it's the most expensive pigment in the world. Because there's pigment curators who curate. Because you think every single one of these pigments has to be made from something. So there's this one rock has this greenish hue. So when you grind it up, it makes this kind of green. And again, we've now been able to do a lot of synthetic pigments where you can just kind of make it. But it's a lot of it. That's why oil paints are really expensive because a lot of them are using actual pigments. But there's this one yellow pigment that's made from it's made from a cow or a yak or some kind of big animal like that that's only fed these very specific mangoes its entire life. And this pigment is made out of its dried urine. And it's this beautiful orange yellow.
What?
And it's it's super rare. It's Kobe beef kind of thing, It's it's to get a teeny pinch of it is thousands and thousands of dollars because it's so rare because it takes so long to do. But it's a specific yellow pigment. It's one of the most expensive and rarest pigments in the world.
Wow.
It's wild.
That's crazy. Emma says, I'm sorry I'm missing all your replies due to buffering. I don't have my laptop with me. I'll check in next time so I can actually follow everything. No worries. I know you probably can't hear this, but we're happy you stopped by. We're excited to see you. And I'm sorry that you can't hear it. We've had great replies.
Bye, Emma.
Cochineal bugs. Is that the name? Is that cochineal bugs or cochineal bugs? Or is that maybe you can make dyes?
Or is that something you can break?
Probably. You can probably grind up anything and make a color. Might be crap brown, but
crap brown.
That's a color. That's time I checked.
Yeah, man, crap brown's a color, baby.
Grind up a cockroach and it's well, so that's a color. That's gross.
That is gross a color out there.
But it's a color. Crook says, I still want to do Cabin in the Woods game day, rent a place in Big Bear or something for an all-out gaming extravaganza. With David's bachelor party weekend, it was basically a trial run and proof of concept for that exact thing, and I am 100% in.
There's other stuff going on because it's a bachelor party, but like for the most part, we're mostly playing games.
It's mostly just a game day, you know. But like it would be so fun, and if we do get a handful of people, we can probably keep the cost pretty affordable. I'm even down to do that in like the spring sometime. Doesn't have to be winter. Spoiler alert, we were up there and it was not wintry at all. Yeah. So I mean, basically, we got to really feel it out. But I'm super down to do that at some point in the spring, one like in between all the crazinesses. That'd be really, really fun.
That would not be bad.
Let's make it happen. Coke Neal's where red food coloring comes from. I think it's originally a Mexican bug. That's amazing. See, I love that stuff. I think the origin of like everything is fascinating. How'd you come up with this thing and this product and that? So many like happy accidents through time. So much observing nature and then finding a way to replicate that thing. It's just fascinating, man.
Totally agree, sir.
So fascinating. Okay. I want to shine up his boots. Do you think on these boots I should do a coat reapply?
Probably, yes.
And then do the shine?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to need maybe this right here.
The Abaddon Black?
Yes,
now, I'm pretty sure you used... No, so what you used for that, the reason why they're kind of...
Matte?
Well, not say matte, but like kind of just not very dark is because you used a contrast paint. You use black.
Well, now that I did that, would it be a bad idea to do?
Yeah, because that's just gonna be pure black. Whereas if you want it to have a little bit of dynamicism, put on another
contrast black Templar.
Because that way some of your raised edges will still be a little bit gray and it'll give it some actual thing. Whereas you put black on, it'll just be black, and like that's totally fine.
She said, "Sure, bro. In your spare time, you can take a weekend off."
Yeah, all of our spare time.
Listen, after we get back from the UK, we're
gonna have a total of a month and a half. Yeah.
Yes, but between that and Memorial Day weekend, we're here.
Yes, we are here.
We can find our weekend in that time. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but I'm gonna say it's possible.
I don't think we need to make it happen, but yeah, to say it's easy or we're gonna find like, oh, we're gonna have this time off.
I would love to prioritize it because I think it's important.
I think so too. We were talking about this yesterday. Yeah.
Backpack says, back to work. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for hanging with us on your break. Enjoy the rest of your work day and morning and day. Okay, so I'll put this down here. Get a little bit of that going. So this is a contrast Black Templar.
Yep.
So we're doing some contrast paints.
So whack a bit of that on there.
Whack a little bit on that. And then I should thin this just a I mean, it's pretty dang thin.
No, that one's the contrast paints. You don't need to thin.
Don't need to thin at all.
Yeah, just normal paints. Right. And keep in mind that the water in your sponge is going to thin it down, so you really don't need to thin down contrast paints.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that, Don. We're just gonna spice up these boots a little bit.
So I'm just bringing up the color in this here cloak.
Gotta bring up the color in this here cloak.
I'm probably gonna throw some orange in it as well. We'll see how bright this one goes. This red here is quite a bit brighter than the last red, and so we'll have to see if this is going to be. That's too much paint. Too much paint.
I've got too much paint, mate.
That's probably all right. Because this is a very orangey red, regardless. Because I don't want the cloak to be orange, and that's one thing. Like, as you're highlighting stuff, you have to watch out for is like you don't want to highlight something because when you're adding stuff to your highlight, you have to add some kind of lighter color, obviously.
Are there dark lights?
There are
like shadow.
Yes,
adding.
Well, because here's
other
the thing.
Than wash.
Yes, because here's the thing. You still have to highlight your shadows. You just don't highlight them like you highlight your shadows basically to what your mid-tone on your highlight would be. If that makes sense. Okay, so let's just say there's 5 levels of darkness, right? You have your brightest highlight's 1.
Depression.
Your darkest highlight is 5. That's like the deepest part of a cloak or whatever like that.
Uh-huh.
So let's do, you have 6. 1 to 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your brightest highlight and all the parts that are highlights, all the parts that are going out to the cloak are, your basically your 3 to 1. So 3, 2, 1. Your 3 and your 4 are your midtone. But the shadows, let's say there's a big fold, a big billow, or maybe like this dude, whereas oh boy here, he's got his pants underneath here. They go underneath his legs, which means that is not going to catch any natural light. Right. But those parts are still going to have highlights and lowlights. So you still need to highlight the shadows, but you're not going to highlight them to the point that you highlight everything else. So basically, whatever your darkest part of your highlight area is, that's going to be the brightest point of your shadow highlights.
Okay.
Generally, and that's not just mini painting; that's art in general.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's
why a lot of people, a lot of artwork looks. If your artwork looks flat, a lot of times it's because you're not highlighting your shadows enough. And that's for mini painting, and that's for art.
That's what gives it like a depth.
Yeah, because it's still going to have highlights. The highlights are just not going to be anywhere near what they're going to be on the highlighted parts. And so you still need to do it. Now, again, you don't need to do that for like these. It's like it's one of those things.
I love learning about this stuff because it's just I don't have.
So there are low highlights. Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Sass Queen up in here said, "Oh, hey, friends.
Sassy.
Hello, Sass Queen.
Sassy
How are
of all
you
the
this
queens.
Morning? How you doing?" And Dutch Yoda up in
Dutch,
here.
baby, what's up?
What up, Dutch? How you doing, my man?
We're going to see both of you very soon.
Yeah, we do.
Although not together.
Not together, but we will see Sass Queen next week. We'll see Dutch Yoda a few weeks after that. How fun. Tish tosh.
Tish tosh.
Okay. So,
Tish,
I think I'm going to return.
I like bread.
Bread is fun to eat.
Tish tosh, pish posh. I like bread.
Question. I did this before.
Sorry to every British person watching.
If I want to highlight the edge of my sword, like it's just glinting in the sunlight.
Glinting.
Just do like a straight up white?
No. You need something metallic or else it'll look weird.
Straight up white.
What you should do is...
I'm Salvador Dali over here. I'm over here.
Here's the thing, Mikey. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. And that's one thing I love about mini painting, baby. You can.
Okay, but I mean, so I probably did...
So, did you already do a highlight with that one?
No.
Okay, then do that one first. See what you want. If you want it to be brighter, then we can figure something out.
Okay. I'm just like, I want like the top to glow. Ooh, that's it.
So if you want something like that where you want a highlight to be more prominent, what you need to do is keep the whole thing darker. So don't highlight the rest quite as much. So then whatever you're trying to emphasize, it'll be more emphasized.
Okay.
But what we can do is I brought white and black ink. We can add a little bit of white ink to your silver. It's not the best, but we can do that, and it can brighten it up a little bit, which is good.
I think it's gonna be fine, probably with the standard paints and things like that. I just want to like really have like I just want to see that edge, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely, sir.
Sass Queen says, "I'm so excited for next week." Same. I can't believe that's next week because we have this wedding to get through.
I know.
And make sure. And Sass Queen says, "Nick,
yeah,
you ready for that wedding?"
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Ready. I'm ready because I just have to stand there. So my life is easy.
Yeah, I am officiating this wedding. It'll be fine. It's. They want a short ceremony. Like I'm gonna have a 5, maybe like 10-minute monologue.
You're gonna do a tight 5.
And I'm just talking about them. I'm just talking about like, yeah, they met like this. Their life is beautiful. Just kind of talk about some stuff, make a couple jokes, whatever.
Probably
and then
promote the Brothers Murph a little bit.
Yeah, probably promote the Brothers Murph. And then it's literally just like, all right, wear the rings. Vows, cool, with this ring, I thee wed. I, Sam, take David to be my lawfully wedded husband. It's just, it's also we're outside in Yosemite during the winter. Like, we're not trying to be out there for a long time. Now, like, all the women have, like, furs on, like, they're fake furs, but it's like, so, like, we'll be dressed warmly, but it's, like, one of those things where, like, I'm not trying to be out, no one's trying to be out there very long, so.
Yeah. Merrimack says hello. Good morning, by the way.
Hi, Merrimack.
Says, I listened to your Essential Expansions this morning while driving my son to school. Very good. Thanks. I guess I need to buy Shakespeare now. Yes, you do.
It wouldn't be a bad thing
that
for
is
you to
accurate. Or at least play it once. It's a real good expansion. Just saying.
It's great.
Sass Queen's got a request, Nick.
Yeah, man.
Can you play Sierra West
yes.
next week?
Absolutely. I would love to. No, they do have it because I played it at Dice Tower Cruise. So I know they have it. Absolutely. I would love to teach it. And I know Steve would probably be down to play too. So.
Oh man, I'm busy.
Mikey's
I don't
busy.
play. Busy.
But no, absolutely.
That's too much paint. Don't do that. I always want to pull out way.
Oh, I think I already highlighted these boots. I think I did. I'm gonna take this
I
off.
always want to pull out way.
I think I already highlighted these boots.
Why you gotta do that again, bro?
I didn't want to.
Why are you doing that, man?
All right, can I have that black though? Abaddon black. Abaddon black. And thank you very much for dropping the schedule. Yeah, so later today we have Fireside with Pete Atkinson. And then
after it.
we have at 4 p.m. Westgate Irregulars tonight.
Get after it, folks. We're just.
I'm sorry, no. At 4 p.m. is Fireside with Pete Atkinson, and then Westgate Regulars is at 6:30 p.m. So those will go into each other. Check them out, please. Please.
We are but one show today.
We are but one
lineup
show.
of goodness right there.
I'm already halfway through done with that show. Dang. We gotta keep going. So again, if you're just joining us, so this is gonna be the last week, at least for right now, that we're going to be painting Rum Bones, which is what we've been painting the entire time that we do this. So next week we're going to build and paint some corn from Age of Sigmar, some corn demons. We're probably going to build like one, maybe two. They're pretty easy to build. They're not. They're pretty beginner friendly for that exact reason. So then we'll probably have like a couple primed up already. Next week you'll be in Vegas. You still going to paint? Yes, we are leaving for Vegas directly after our painting stream next week. We are going to be like, okay, we're going to be packed up. So literally at 11 o'clock, we're like, bye. We end our stream.
We're going to arrive. We're going to arrive Wednesday evening.
Yeah. So we're going to do a little bit of building next week. Probably start a little bit of painting, but we're going to paint some maybe like one or two corns, and then we'll move on to something else. So generally, how we're thinking about doing these streams is we want them to be. We're probably going to change it up a lot, just to keep it interesting for the viewers. We don't want to be like Rum Bones. This game has an immense amount of minis. I mean, a truly insane amount of minis. So we only paint 2 hours a week here. So if we were trying to paint all of Rum Bones, it would literally take us all year. So we're not going to do that because we don't want to take your entire year painting one game. It'll probably get boring for you to watch. So we're going to switch it up a lot. We're going to paint a lot of different games. We probably won't ever paint anything to completion unless the game only has a few minis. Then we probably will. But for the most part, we'll probably paint a couple stuff and then move on. We can always come back to it. If there's anything you want us to paint, anything, any games, any Games Workshop stuff, any like Reaper Bones stuff, really any kind of miniature provider, whether it's a game or just a miniature company, let us know or let GenCon know, and we can work on getting some stuff. We want to paint what you guys want us to paint. Because again, we're not really painting to we're not necessarily painting to finish the game. We're just painting to paint.
To highlight painting.
And so
Why would you guess these pants are, man? They are a contrast paint. I don't know which. Can't quite.
it's some light green.
Yeah. Also,
That's probably too dark.
yeah. Grabbed that.
probably- this one?
I was thinking that, but I don't think that one's been opened. So
Oh yeah, you're right. It has been opened.
So I'm like,
Workflash is way too light. Warp lightning. It's not warp lightning.
Warp lightning. It might be.
Try it. Put on something else. Put on paint a cloak or something like that with that.
Gonna paint a cloak, babe.
Is it Creed camo? That seems so dark, but
I've used Creed camo on something.
that's why, because I remember that name.
It might be Creed camo.
Well, put on your palette, see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Put on the base. We're gonna paint that black anyway. And so we're gonna be switching up fairly often. We want to do some building, like building some minis. We want to do. We want to make bases. That feels dark. So dark.
Can't tell.
Where's the other one? Trying Warp lightning. Otherwise, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's weird. It's got a little bit of blue in it. It's definitely a bluish.
You might have mixed something.
I don't think it
Was it this? Was it Militarum and then green?
I don't know, but
It's just because it's not mixed up. That's lighter for sure.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. See, I don't know the contrast paints very well.
Miramax says, I'm thinking the Wonderland War minis would look cool.
Yeah, that's not going to come out for a minute though, but that would be very cool.
Yeah, maybe we could.
They look like a lot of fun to paint.
Dutch Yoda says, Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea could be awesome to paint. That would be,
that would be cool.
Rad. It'd be cool to do like a vehicle at some point.
Yeah, I've never painted a vehicle.
Well, you did like mechs. You know,
to me, I don't really consider that a vehicle, but you are right.
Miramax says, okay, so funny story. I was just...
That gray in the very corner.
I was just telling Derek, y'all are painting Corn Demons next week, and he was just like, it's Corn Demons?
Demons?
I maintain Corn Demons would be awesome. I want them to be Corn Demons. I'm with you. I want them to be demons that are in the cornfield. Or made of corn. They have a corn head. I wish it was that. I'm going to be a little unenthused next week. I'm not going to lie. And they can throw popcorn that are grenades. Like, it's fantasy. Let's get whimsical with
evil
this crap.
corn. So I'm using white ink here.
Misunderstood Tufts of Corn.
I really like using inks, particularly white and black ink, to thin down things instead of using paint. The main reason is because it thins down my paint, but doesn't get rid of any. It doesn't take out any of the pigment of the paint, and it makes it flow a lot better rather than water. So if I can, I like to use inks.
People say when it flows like water. So this flows like.
The beer flows like wine.
I think that's what I got. I don't know.
Do it.
Let's just go for it. I could just.
Then you got a new color.
If it's sticking out a lot, I'm just gonna paint the whole dang pants.
That's what I'm saying, baby.
That's fine enough. So I did all this stress just to kind of basically only do a couple little highlights anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how. Dude, welcome to Video Paint right there. Yeah, so we're doing Corn next week. That'll be fun. We're painting the band. They have minis. We paint Fieldy first, then Head. We gotta put all his new tattoos on there though.
Yeah, well we gotta each of his dreadlocks is glued on separately. So it's a big build on that.
It's a big build.
It's a big build.
But nonetheless, yeah, so we're doing that next week. So again, if you have anything you want us to paint, want to see us do, again, we want to do like basing, like cool bases. Again, as I always say, I paint minis so I can give them cool bases.
I personally definitely want to try some basing. That sounds so fun.
I've been watching a lot of terrain making videos, and I'm kind of like, do you want to get into terrain? I'm like, I have no need to get into terrain. I don't. Most terrain stuff is sort of like D&D or like Warhammer. I'm like, I don't play either of those games very often, and I'm just like, man, I would really love to build terrain, but you need like wire cutters and stuff. But it just looks so much fun.
I mean, here's the thing: isn't something like that is a hobby, right?
But my thing is like, where am I going to put all those?
Well, you'd have to
build this
like David has like a case, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that would be a plenty worthy enough.
Oh, just a hobby to have for sure.
Build.
Oh, 100%. I totally agree. I
need
just
to build.
Don't have the space to build stuff, and I don't have the space to put the stuff.
That's why we gotta get you a place, man, where you have a room. Like, you know, people do like the Christmas villages and all the trains, and they get like suit. Like, that's what that is, right? It's just that's more pedestrian, like, but they build like little crossing guards. All these things, like, you do that, but you just build basically a world, and it's just in this whole room, and it's just this humongous thing, like the Beetlejuice village, like they build the town.
People do such cool stuff. They do it with such like just like, you know, dollar store foam core, and they just make these like ruins that are so amazing. It's just so cool.
The coolest. Okay, I think
happy
with that.
Sorry, Mary Mac, I know you have a question. Hold on.
The question is, have you ever worked with Hearst Arts molds?
No, I don't know what that is. What is that? Hearst Arts mold? I don't know. No. Niet.
Popcorn demons. They pop out everywhere.
That's their main power, is they can just be wherever.
Self-destruct and turn into a bunch of little popcorn minions.
That'd be terrifying.
But they can never, it'd be horrifying. That's high fantasy stuff right there.
That's that high fantasy. That's that Tolkien stuff. I'm almost the scouring of the Shire, sir.
Wow. We are almost out of Rivendell.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, I'll probably finish it today. Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Though it be dated, it'd be great. Would you agree?
What?
But though it be dated, it'd be great.
What?
Lord of the Rings. It's dated.
Is it dated?
Yeah, I think so.
In what way?
Some of the characters are just sort of like nothing's very deep.
No.
It's poetic, right? And like that's its purpose, but like Aragorn, if you wrote Aragorn today, probably would be much closer to the movies, and that probably would be better for storytelling. Like Aragorn's boring. And it's like that's not I don't think Tolkien was trying to make like a tortured king story, and so he didn't need it to be, but like just the way we've told stories has changed. Mm-hmm. You know, and so it's dated in that way where it almost comes off kind of like bad writing because like there's definitely instances of it, but it's more about the poetry of it. And so I'm just curious, like if Tolkien was born today and wrote that book today, would it? I don't know. I don't think it would hit.
I don't think Aragorn's boring at all. I think you can make the argument for a lot of other characters like Legolas or Gimli. All of them or Faramir, they're all boring because they're very. No, I love those characters.
Aragorn, yeah. But Aragorn has more to do, but it's like all of them are sort of just doing they're just. It's about like the events going on, but it's just sort of.
It's more good, but I think the conflict or the people who have the most depth are the people who matter. You have Gandalf, and then Frodo and Sam. Those are the ones who have a ton of depth. Yeah, so to me it's like, but because you have. To me, like, Aragorn not having as much depth doesn't really matter, even though I think he has more than you're giving him credit for, but it's like, because he's really just part of an ensemble over there. It's like, because the thing is, like, that's the thing about Lord of the Rings is so weird, like, half the book is just Frodo, Sam, and Gollum, and the other half is all of these other people.
Yeah.
So to me, them...
Two different stories almost.
Because I don't know, I like the fact that he's confident in the king the whole time. I just watched Return of the King the other night with Sam, and I really don't like Aragorn in the movies anymore. I
like it more and more.
Oh, I like it less and less every day. It's just he's so I don't know. Yeah, it's just
the reason I think like it feels it's not dated but different is like everything, and this is not a condemnation. Like I love Lord of the Rings. Like we listen to it every day and stuff. It's beautiful. But, like, everything feels from a distance. Like, you're watching the story unfold from a distance.
Yeah, you are.
Versus, like...
Well, I think, again, I think not Frodo and Sam.
Not Frodo and Sam, but the rest. It's pulled back because there's maybe more characters to keep track of and stuff. But it's something that, like, I want to see the weight of what's going on impact Aragorn. I want to... And that's one thing they do in the movies is, like, you feel the weight of everything more. You know, because you can get right in... on Aragorn. It's like one of the things I love about the Dresden Files is that you're in Dresden's head, so you see him kind of struggling and stuff. And it'd be cool to like find a way to, you know, it's just weird how everything kind of feels a little bit like you're watching from a distance and everything's sort of safe. Just because I know the story, so it's like
that's true.
I know it works
but
out.
I also think there's a limitation of the fact that there's only 3 books, and none of them are long. Like the longest one is.
I was so shocked when we started rereading. I was like, "Oh, they're not.
They're
long.
not.
I thought they were like.
They're short.
As
books.
a kid, of course.
Like as a kid, you're like they're the longest things ever. So the thing is, like, I think if you're trying to get into like because people are like, well, the other people have done big ensemble pieces better. Yeah, but those books are way longer for the most part. You know, it's like, and I think that is a thing. It's like if you want to get into all these characters and like what this weight is doing to them, like, you'd have to double the length of all those books. Mm-hmm. And the people he does it for like gets into that like what it is the Frodo and Sam part, and that's why there's only 3 people. It's much more intimate. You see how much this journey is killing Frodo, like legitimately killing Frodo.
It's so good in Sam.
But the other side, they don't have the time. But I don't think that part matters as much. It's just because their whole thing is just meant to be a distraction to keep Sauron's eye outside of there. So to me, it's like that part doesn't need as much depth, and I don't think it lessens it that there isn't as much, because I think you would have to so extend their part to make it that way.
It should be like 18 books then.
Get into Silmarillion, you'll get there. But it's like one of those things, you know. It's like, so if it's like a big ensemble piece that I'm not a massive fan of, but say something like Game of Thrones, it's like, yeah, but there's 5 of them now, and they're all like 1,000 pages long. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, but it's a big ensemble piece, and you get into the nitty gritty with all those people. Or even take something like Codex Alera, which is a big ensemble piece. But it's like, again, it's 6 books, the last of which is 800 pages long.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think you're also limited to the fact that Lord of the Rings is actually a pretty short story. Mm-hmm. Especially considering like how big the events are. Like one thing I always get surprised about when I read it, I read it every year. It's like
how short Helm's Deep.
Yes, how short Helm's Deep. How short like the Battle of Pelennor
it's
Fields
like 2
is.
pages,
dude. It's like they're all just like one chapter battles. They're not these like Codex Lair. It's like battles take half a book.
Yeah.
You know, Dresden Files, it's like, well, Dresden Files also the fact that it's like, again, it's inside his head, so it's more intimate. 2, again, there's like 15 of those books now.
Yeah.
If you just read Stormfront on its own, I don't think you'd feel quite that way.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's very true. And I guess there's just certain things that I can acknowledge that the movies do better. It's like Helm's Deep feels
100%. There's a couple things for sure.
Movies.
And you are right. Like writing has evolved since then.
Yeah.
Like at this point, he probably
bad.
no. I totally agree.
It's just one of those things that's interesting. Is like, it just feel like it's just interesting how if Tolkien was to write that book, how it would be different.
Yes.
You know, and how it makes it feel dated, and it's not a horrible thing. Yeah. It's just like
that's what in Lord of the Rings. I can understand why some people who, especially like if they like modern fantasy, are not massive Lord of the Rings fans. I get it because it's very much like the story of like good versus evil, and the people who are good, are pretty much just good.
Yeah,
there's not much gray area. You have people like Boromir, but even then, like they redeem themselves. You have like people like Faramir, and I love
for the boots, kind of that shine.
Yeah, like I love Faramir, but Faramir's kind of a boring character. He's just very, very good.
Faramir's more interesting in the movie for sure because you can tell like the whole living his brother's shadow thing, and like they go far in that direction. But I'm like, well, it's a Faramir's just sort of there in the books. I'm like,
no, that's not true. They do get into the living his brother's shadows a lot. It's not quite as much.
It's true.
No, it's not true. It's true. That's not true. How many times you read Lord of the Rings? You want to have this fight?
No. Like this, excuse me, I didn't realize I was watching a couple of nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
I was here to watch people paint minis and talk about board games, not a couple bing bongs trying to out-nerd each other. There's no out-nerding Nick in Lord of the Rings. This thing's not been opened before. Is that okay? Hard coat?
Good, yeah.
Is it just new?
Yeah. No, it's not new. Is it? No, it's not new. It probably just hasn't been open in a while. But yeah, it's like Faramir is ultimately a relatively. He's got the brother envy thing and his whole relationship with his dad, which is super screwed up. Yeah. Which they go way more into in the books, which is way more interesting. But it's like yeah, he's known as like a very, very like noble and right standing like captain, and it's like that's pretty much it. You know, it's like, and I don't like in the books where like he's like, no, I'm taking the ring to my father, because that's just not that character.
It goes too far in that direction, which is.
But it's like, but he does have a moment where he is just like, oh, man, what should I do? And then he immediately chooses the right decision, and it's just like he should have stood up to his father a long time ago. I think you're right about that.
That's the truth.
But I also think he probably couldn't have because he had his older brother there. You know.
Yeah, I imagine.
Because keep in mind, like,
existence would have been tough.
The whole Boromir being dead thing, like, the book also in time frame only takes place. It's less than a year from Frodo and Sam leave the Shire. It's less than a year. So it's like the whole when Boromir dies to when you see all the stuff between Faramir and Denethor. Maybe? No, it's more than that, but it's like maybe a month tops. Maybe, yeah. No, probably not even that. You're probably right. It's probably like 2 or 3 weeks. It's very short. Like it is an incredibly short amount of time. I think he probably would have, you know. But it's like, yeah, it's hard to see because you're seeing such a small time ultimately. Sorry, Miramac, I'm gonna look at this thing you've sent us.
And a lot's going on because the world's ending and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is amazing. Don't misunderstand that.
No. I know how you feel about it. Oh, this is
just
cool.
An interesting thing that I was talking to Joy about it and stuff, and she said like, well, some of the writing's like pretty bad in it, and I was just like, what do you mean? And she's just like, well, it's just super dated and this, and I was just like, yeah, I guess it is dated, because it's old.
It's not from the 40s, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, it's interesting. So,
what are we looking at here, man? Some rad terrain stuffs.
Oh, so Hirsch art molds are terrains.
Yeah, very cool.
Terranium, baby, terranium.
It's kind of terrain. It's just like, man, it is.
Diz. What are we going to play in Dice Tower West, bro? Can we play a game? You down? If you're not down.
You got a pillow coming.
It's cool. You got a pillow coming, bro. You're going to sleep so good.
You're going to sleep so good, Dice Tower West, dude?
You're going to sleep so freaking good.
All right, Miramac. We'll see you later. You got a meeting in 15. Have a good one.
All right, Miramac. Hey, enjoy it. Or, survive it, or, I'm sure it's fun.
There are cars that would have taken a month. Yeah, they could just blow past all those white riders, those black riders. You only have horses.
If you go to Jeep, you drive right through the dead marshes, never stop, dude.
Right. Exactly.
What a 5-gallon
Rubicon, yeah, you know.
Yeah, man.
You're fine.
Thing's rated for whatever, dude. Driving up skulls as they pour out of the mountain. So dope.
He's so metal. So I'm just highlighting his little sash here again. I'm not doing it very much because it's one. There's not much place to highlight.
Look at
them
shiny boots.
Ultimately, underneath everything. Just not gonna play any games. Just gonna walk around calling people nerds. That checks out, man.
Nerds.
Just from on high because you're so tall. You're just like, God, these nerds.
Look at these nerds. As you're checking people in, I hope you do that. Be like, all right, nerd, go in there, play some games, you nerd.
All right, nerd.
Go nerd out, nerd. I'm gonna go see Cirque du Soleil, nerds. Deuces, bye. And it just skips away. He literally skips through and calling people nerds. He throws like
Real
Snicker bars, like fun-size Snicker bars to people.
Which they both love and hate.
I'm like, I'm happy to have the Snicker, but I don't want to be called the nerd for it. He's like, eat it, nerd, eat it, eat it right now. And then people do. That's weird.
And then people do. That's the thing. That's the worst part.
A weird vibe of Dice Hard West. I like it.
But it's only Dice Hard West. Otherwise, he's very pleasant.
I need some Moose Shop Bone, dude. That's what I need right here.
I need some Moose Shop Bone.
I'm gonna highlight this. I'm gonna highlight this pelvic ridge.
That's what it is. It's funny saying it like that.
Just say. Dutch Yoda says, I'm working on posters for my office game night on March 6th. After that, finishing my reviews on Gateway Driver and Tiny Towns, the Dutch version.
The Dutch version. That's cool. Rad.
In Tiny Towns, is it like every third resource is just water and you're flooding?
That's the Dutch version.
Very cool.
You got to build dams. Hey, mostly what you're building is dams.
Yeah.
All right, so I've highlighted everything but the sword and the bones. I don't know what I did for the bones here. They seem very light. Did I already do the bones?
I don't know, Nick. I would never know that. You want some Shop Table? Let's see it. Shop Table.
Trying to see if that's lighter. I'm gonna try a little bit.
Gonna do Shop Table. Lord of the Rings is pretty good though.
Lord of the Rings is great. I can say it's the greatest story ever told.
I would say it's the second or third greatest series of all time though.
What your number one's what? Dresden Files,
baby.
What's number 2?
You know better. Probably Lord of the Rings.
No, it's fine if it's not. I'm legitimately curious.
No, Codex Lyra is up there, but.
What's everyone's favorite book series? Put it in the chat.
Put them in the chat. We're always looking for new Rex. I'm like halfway through the first Reckoner's book, and it's quite good.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, we're gonna buy guns from this guy in Diamond, and then all of a sudden Dave's like, crap, Nightwheeler's here, and I was like, what? And I start getting sleepy because I'm trying to stay awake because I'm like, that is not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
That is not good.
Nightwheeler's all crazy like.
And everyone's got his tensors and trying to they're gonna cut their way out.
Oh, so you're getting pretty far into it.
Yeah, I'm like 160 pages. I'm like probably close to halfway.
Okay. Yeah, Nightwheeler's scary, dude.
Dude, Nightwheeler's terrifying. Because he's like, he's incorporeal. I'm like, what? And he's like, hey, he's sort of like a half ghost thing. You can't kill him. You can't shoot him.
You can't touch him.
He'll just walk through walls. He don't care. I'm like, that's not right. That's an invasion of privacy.
That is invasive, sir.
And then Nightwheeler says, oh, and he does it like that. And I'm like,
Jesus. This is a real D-bag, that Nightwheeler. I love the Reckoners. I'm probably going to read it again this year.
It's really cool.
So again, these bones and stuff already feel pretty darn highlighted. I honestly don't remember if I highlighted or not. So I'm just doing probably one highlight on here. And then that's going to be it.
Diz has said, anyway, I'm not coming up with a plan, just going to feel it out like last time. Try to suggest a meetup in Discord and it turned into an RPG planning sesh, which I am not down for.
We will have a more specific meetup then. We will make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing's kind of a meetup, so like it's but we can definitely have hey, if you are in the Discord and you're a Bing Bong, like let's all meet up at this time and just hang out, you know, or at least all play in the same area. I'm sure that'll mostly be happening anyway, but it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, guys, I love.
Diz, are you not down for the RPG thing? Because it's for dang nerds.
That is why.
My guessing is you might go to hang out so you can trash can people.
That is not a bad idea.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty dope. That's a cool guy move.
I love RPGs, but I personally can't think of anything I want to do less at a convention than play an RPG.
It's a weird thing about it
because it takes so long.
Yeah.
To me, I'm just like, RPGs are like an intimate thing that you do like with like a group of friends in like a living room or, you know, or a dining. It's like, to me, it's like playing them at a con. To me is so, I'm like, I can't imagine what I'd want to do. I'd almost rather not go to a con than play an RPG at a con. Like, that's just my personal thing. I'm just like, because I see there's like a whole RPG room at Strategicon.
Well, you've had to do it. You did it at PAX a couple years ago.
No, I didn't.
You did the RPG, yeah?
What RPG?
With Ronnie.
No, I didn't do that. I got out of that.
I thought you did.
No, I thought I was going to have to, and eventually was just like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
I thought you did.
No, I didn't. Thank God. I was real upset when I thought I had to do that. Can I have the armor gold in top left? Yeah. So no hate on RPGs, just not for this guy. Yeah, that's totally fine. I like RPGs, but I want to play RPGs with like people that I know. Because RPGs, I get nervous during RPGs. I get like kind of self-conscious. So it's like I want to play with people I know, people I'm comfortable with, people I like playing in just an RPG. I mean, although we know a lot of people, yeah, it's like I need to be in a controlled environment. Like, yeah, it's just super. No, yeah, and that's a lot of people go to cons to play RPGs. I think that's awesome. That is just super not for me.
Dutch says, by the way, I'm only at AirCon on Friday the 13th from 11 to 6. I'll miss the TGIB live show. Sorry, live show's Friday. I should tell Karen that. She's doing her Turkish day, but it'll be done by night, so she can come to the show. Well, dude, we're gonna make the most of it while you're there. You know, if you're trying to play a game or something, let's do it, brother. Let's play a game, Rick. Because, you know, that'd be tight. All right.
That would be tight.
That would be so dope.
So I was doing the gold on this little
I'm gonna
bit of sword.
That lighter orange now when you have a moment. And you're saying I should throw a little bit of yellow into this? Just
that one's fine. Or the next highlight, you want to throw a little yellow in it.
Dutch says, currently only reading work-related books. They're not page turners, but I like them.
All right, as long as you like them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do Reckoners. Karen really wants me to stop midway to do Red Rising, which I may do.
No, don't. Do your thing.
I know.
You're not going to read Red Rising.
I want to know because I want to be able to all talk about it.
That's fine. We can. Read the Reckoners. Don't stop because you won't ever pick Reckoners back up again.
Oh, I will.
I don't think you will.
Nah, you're right.
It'll take 10 years. Because you just don't have much time to read. That's the thing. It's like you really don't. It's not because
I could do, to be honest. I could make time. I'm reading at night, which is great, but I get 8-10 pages in and I'm out.
Yeah, that's why I don't read at night.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I refuse to. I'm like, nah. That's why I go places to read. Because I will stay up if I'm at a Starbucks. Because if I sleep here, they get upset with me.
Sir,
you can't sleep here, sir.
You have fallen asleep into your Danish. Can you please go?
We need you to leave.
That was funny. That made me laugh. Falling asleep into your Danish is a funny line.
It's a funny concept in general.
Just got good mouthfeel, too. It's about mouthfeel. Dutch says, I'll be wearing my TGIB shirt as requested in the latest episode.
That's right.
Basically, if you ain't in the merch,
get out.
How do I even know who you are? I mean, I've seen you pictures. I know who you are, but it's just like...
Indeed.
Really, we prefer people to be in the merch.
We prefer people to be in the
merch. Coming from a guy that does not have a TGIB shirt.
Can I have the bright silver?
This one. Yeah. Excuse me, it's called Rune Fang Steel, bro. It's what I highlighted my sword with.
Okay. What were we talking about? Yeah, no, read Reckoners. Just put forth a little time. Do it. Because it's not long.
Yeah, it is not.
And trust me, it's just going to get crazier. So, like... Red Rising, you definitely should read. I've been trying to get him to read it for years. It's only his girlfriend who can get him to read it, but I'm okay with it.
No,
you wouldn't have ever read it. I don't believe, sir. No, that's right. Honestly, but are you going to listen to it or are you going to try to read it?
Red Rising? I'm going to try to read it, I think.
Okay.
I might do a mix. Karen did that. It seemed to work out cool. It's like listening to audiobooks is great, but I used to do it when I drove. Yeah. I don't go anywhere.
No, totally. That's
so I'm
thing.
like,
that's what I was going to ask.
I don't know. I mean, I could, but the with that said, it's like if I'm doing chores around the house, I'll usually listen to like YouTube, like sports stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I could do that instead. So I do have the opportunity to listen, but I'd have to kind of like remember and make a concerted effort to like put that on.
Yeah.
When I'm around the house, because I don't have as many opportunities to where it's convenient to put it on.
Yeah,
you know
totally.
what I mean? And like the whole thing is funny because as I'm thinking about that, I'm like, why do I need to like come up with such a compelling reason to listen to an audiobook? Because like if you just want to listen to it, put it on. Like there's
put it on when you're playing Stardew or something. Like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You know, it's like
because I'll listen to like Death by Monsters and stuff when I do that, and it's fun. So yeah, maybe I'll listen to it. And the thing is like if I did that, I could in theory listen to it while I read The Reckoners, and then get both done. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just start listening to it.
Yeah,
get through that kind of first half.
I mean, yeah, do whatever you. It's up to you. I mean, it's one of those things, but it's all of them are incredible.
It's just a weird thing is that like I enjoyed it, but I just like was having trouble getting a pace built up with it.
Yeah,
but I was enjoying it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't that like the story hadn't hooked me in, because it's a very interesting story right from the jump.
Yeah.
You know, so I was just like, I don't know why I'm just struggling to get a rhythm going.
Yeah.
So maybe listening will help get me started on that anyway.
All right, well, this Bing Bong is done.
Quicksand says, oh yeah, I listened to the TGIB episode this morning. Nice poems, Mike. Thank you. You know, I was just like, why not haikuify your game?
I like it.
That was cool. Thank you for that. I was proud of the cleverness, and I think it's something I could do in the future. I just like to do weird playing with words things. If you haven't noticed, all my things are like, oh, I translated this game to this, or I made alternate titles for games. And that's what kind of led me to do the haikus. So Diz asked a question I wanted to ask to Dutch, like, what work-related books?
That's a good pregunt.
And Dutch said, designing for sustainability and a couple of SEO books. I'm doing a presentation on both subjects in London during AirCon.
Cool.
That's awesome.
What does designing for sustainability mean? Like, what do you mean by that? Give us a rundown.
Yeah, give us just the first 3, 4, 5 paragraphs of your presentation.
So for the last 30 minutes, while Mikey is finishing up his, I am going to start painting some bases of ones that are done.
On my cloaky. Painting some bases. Do some batch painting bases. Batch bases.
Batch bases.
So if I was to do, I did my Ushapti Bone. I probably would like to do like at least one more pass. So what's a good step up from here? Would it be like the skull?
That's probably too much. I would say go to Flayed One Flesh, which is the next one. That one down. Yeah.
Flayed One Flesh. So creepy. Flayed One Flesh. Our flesh has been flayed once. Pray I do not flesh it again. Shouldn't you say flayed? I'll flesh you right now. It's like, all right, never mind.
I meant right.
I'm not correcting you, bro. I'm just over here. Designing for sustainability is about building greener digital products and services.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's dope. It's funny to think about that because I'm like, well, it's still digital, isn't it green? You're like, no, not necessarily. Like making stuff, it's like, yeah, it can be just as bad. You can build an iPhone that just like trashes the environment, you know, as it's being built, and then it's fine, you know. But
so I have some purple here.
From what I understand, the environment's fine, so we don't even need to think about it. That's what I heard.
And I'm adding some Shayush purple.
That's my favorite purple.
It's because it's like kind of in the middle of my two darker purples, and so I don't know why I did just choose one color. So I gotta try and match it.
Because you just do stuff in an interesting way, bro.
Apparently.
Okay.
Also, the contrast paint will do good to thin out the paint anyway. And then we can just thin it out a little bit more.
So yeah,
so this is my Warsh palette.
My Warsh.
Give him a Warsh. Oops.
Bled my bone onto my cloak again.
Yep.
Same spot. I painted over it. I was like, oh, I'm not going to paint. Like, no, just paint it orange again.
The having to repaint things a billion times because you accidentally touch something is, that's every mini painter ever.
That's that reality, though.
Yep.
I'm a silly goose.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Again, it's just like I do it. The worst is like I'll finally finish something and then I'm just like moving it away. I'll go and just hit something else and I'm just like, oh yeah, I just do it all the time and I'm just like, dang it, I didn't want that. So it's painting the base.
Paint the base. I
usually paint all my bases black, but these ones, their team color, I guess, their faction color is purple, so that's why I'm painting this one purple.
Oh, right. So I should do that too.
Yeah, if you want to.
I could just like borrow your paint and we can just batch base these boys. I'm into this. I think it's cool. I'm into it.
Into who?
My paint job.
Oh, your job. Okay, yeah.
It's okay.
Good. As you should be.
I'm happy with the cloak. I think I got some cool dynamics to it.
Okay, well, we've gotten a couple minis in. Do you feel any more confident? Do you feel any better? Do you feel... How's your journey been so far?
I feel like more... I mean, just like, I remembered as I was going into my second pass on the cloak, you said, okay, for the lighter color, you're not going to go as far. You're going to sit closer to just the things that are directly overhead, and you kind of build it that way. And so I was like, okay, so I can do this now. And then, I did some feathering to smooth out some stuff. And then, like, now as I look at my cloak, I did a better wash job on it last week. So I've got some darker areas that I can play with. So now if I'm looking at it, I've got some creases and some dynamics and stuff. Now, it's a bit rough.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten very good at putting down, like, really even coats and stuff. But, like, I'm, like, happy with it. And then, I just feel more confident to like, well, let's just, I was doing the highlights on the bone. I was like, well, I'm going to do it like above the brow ridge and I'm going to get like the mouth is sticking out. I'm just going to get like that, but leave the dark because there's a nice wash in there.
Yeah.
And these are just things I was just kind of like starting to be able to see areas that would be good to hit and stuff. And like, again, I'm not going to claim to be great at it, but like it's, I feel more confident to like make a choice and go for it and like whatever happens.
Totally.
I think that's something.
I love it.
Yeah. Plus I'm painting like actually on camera more often now, which is just
that is great. Nice too. Yeah. It's tough to paint on camera, trust me.
Just great that I'm actually being seen and probably not doing it right. I'm on camera. Good for me. Diz says, so you guys got anything you're trying to do at Die Star West? Specific games to play, restaurants to eat at, buildings to bungee jump off of? All of them.
All the buildings to bungee jump off of.
I mean, there are some specific games I'd love to play that now I cannot remember. Someone's asking, like, what's a big game you want to play? And I couldn't remember. Then afterwards, like, oh yeah, this game. Now I can't remember what that was in there. With the game playing, I would just like to, like, play a decent amount of games.
Yeah.
At a leisurely pace. Like, we're doing a pub trivia thing on Friday. At 1.
Yep.
And that'll be fun, because it's gonna be chill. It's gonna be kind of like This Game Is Broken-ish type trivia type game, so it'll be fun. Everyone can just kind of work together on teams. It's gonna be really laid back, be like an hour. And outside of that, we have some times where we need to be playing games in the hot games area, but we're not, we don't need to be like playing anything specific. It's just being available for people to play games with if they wish. So it's going to be pretty chill. We're hosting that. Nick and I are putting it on.
Shoot.
So if that makes you want to go or not want to go, have at it.
Both are fair.
Both are fair. So it's like we don't have a ton that we must be doing a lot of the time. So I just want to be like playing games. We'll be playing games and hanging out. Like
absolutely no plans at all.
Yeah, and I want to keep it that way as much as possible.
Play Viticulture with Ruel. I know that.
Yeah.
And then play Sierra West with Sass Queen. That's it. I try to not make any plans because it stresses me out because then I'm like, okay, at 4 p.m. I have to go play this game with this person.
I really want to play City of the Big Shoulders with Nate. Steve, if you're interested in that.
Yeah. City of the Big Shoulders I like to play. I at least want you to play because I think you'll like it. But no, I don't really have any plans. I want to play this because whenever I'm like, I want to do this, I usually don't get to do that. And then I get, not disappointed, but like, I'm like, it'd be nice. So
cons just end up getting busy anyway. So it's just like, I try to like leave them as open as I can because I'm always like, I want to play all these games. And it's like, you'll play like half that many, problem maybe. You know, it's just like, which is fine. But I'm like, I don't know.
Diz, I would not mind feasting with you.
Dude, what's up with it? Let's go.
I will teach you the game as fast as I did last time. Now I know you already know the game, so it'll be easier this time.
Dude, yeah, you've been crushing it all day now.
I want to. Is Steph coming? Diz?
She's so coming. I mean, she's not. Steve says, I bring games that I want to play, but at Dice Tower West, I want to play some new to me games. I know that Nate's good at teaching heavy games. Yeah, man.
Nate is very good at teaching heavy games.
Yeah. I don't know if City of Big Shoulders is new to you, but I love playing new games at cons. It's super fun. It has shifted, like, in the early days, and I think this is everyone's story probably. In the early days, going to cons was awesome because you got to play all these new things. And now you're sort of, a lot of times you're one of the more knowledgeable people, and so you end up teaching, which is really cool in its own way, but it's kind of weird that change. You're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, take the cruise. I mean, I think there was only...
I played Sorcerer
There was
City.
like maybe like 1 or 2 games I played that I wasn't the one teaching it, or like we weren't teaching it together or something like that. Right. Like, which I'm honestly fine with.
Yeah, it's fun to
but it just means that like
your favorite games, so it's like sweet.
Yeah, it's honestly totally fine, but it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, you don't get to play much, especially when you become, I don't want to say moguls, but we become moguls like us.
Diz says, you were talking up that Norwegians expansion, might be down for that. We can bring that for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if we can just bring ours. Yeah, I'm not sure if they have it.
Asking says, I'm not setting a time for you, Nick. Whenever it happens, it's fine. Or if it
no, totally,
yeah. Too. There'll definitely be time.
That's totally fine. I just try not to make promises very much with playing games because it's just like, sometimes it doesn't happen, It's like you want it to happen, it just doesn't, And so it's like, I used to stress out a lot because I'm like, I promised this person I played this game with them, and then even if it's not a specific time, it can get stressful. But like the good about Dice Tower West, it's like it's literally just playing games. We're staying at the hotel, so it's not like we even like have to like travel to go home. It's like we can just stay up later and play Sierra West if we're not finding a good time. Hi, Shazza Gaming, just hey,
hello,
Stephanie there, cool,
sweet.
Restaurants want to go. I want to go to Tacos El Gordo. Yeah, which is around the corner. It's incredible. We'll be doing Skinny Fats with the Sassy Queen. Yeah. Other than that, no, not really. Yeah. I want a game, so it's like, and I've been to Vegas a bunch of times, so I don't feel the need to be like, let's do Vegas stuff. I'm like,
it would be fun to like travel into town to do like a buffet at some point, but then it's pulling you.
That's what we wanted to do last year. We wanted to do like a Big Mom buffet.
Yeah, which
we might do this year.
Yeah, maybe that could. Yeah, maybe we could see. We'll pop that in Discord and see if there's gauge the temperature, see if there's any interest.
Yeah.
Because that's the only bummer is we'd have to travel.
Well, there might be a decent buffet at the Westgate.
Maybe. And there was that one we walked to.
We went to the Wynn.
The Wynn. So that
was pretty expensive, though. But, I mean, we have to figure it out. But it's like, but it's one of those things like we could do a Bing Bong buffet.
A lunch one would be ideal because they're cheaper. It's like $10, but
Yeah. Yeah. Bing Bong buffet Saturday morning.
Bing Bong buffet on Saturday morning. Whoa. You want to pay the bills? Cool. Good job.
Yep.
Thanks, buddy. So what do you think? Give me
my critique. The cloak looks pretty good.
It's not bad, right? I mean, yeah. I'm getting the idea.
And again, these guys are great to practice on because like there's parts that are like splotchier, but it's like it doesn't matter because
splotchy coat.
He's wet. He's been underwater for a long time. The pants look good.
Yeah, they came out decent. I mean, I guess that's a good thing for a contrast paint because it's just all kind of texture.
Yeah, the skin looks really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
where's some I have some splotchiness issues where I can't get it. Like, what's a way to help?
You need more layers,
just more coats.
Yeah. Okay. More coats. And then just evenness of applying them, but that just comes from doing it. But yeah, more coats. That's all it is, really. Yeah, I mean, you could have more. I don't know if you shaded your belt or the belt could have a little more depth.
I put a couple highlights on the top, but not much. I could.
So I'd say if I was gonna do something, and again, this is honestly totally fine, but like maybe put like a coat of thinned down Agrax Earthshade, the brown wash on the belt to give it some more definition.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
But other than that, it
looks
looks great. And I'd put some in his right.
Steve says, for early risers, I'm planning on a morning trip to wander around Red Rocks area.
Oh,
nice.
You did that last year, and that does sound... What's early risers? Oh, Mikey, I just touched... Your skull was on purple. I'll redo that.
That's fine. Yeah, purple skull all day.
No, dude, I'll redo that.
No, you don't. You don't touch my skulls. My skulls are my skulls.
What's early rising? Because I do want to do that, but I also am not trying to get up super early. Although I am very excited to be at a con where the time difference isn't anything for us.
For once.
For once. When we wake up at 7, it doesn't feel like 4.
I know, that's a bummer, man. It's like, even if you're waking up at 10 in Philly, you're like, well, it feels pretty early to me, man. And like, that's a bummer. Because you just feel like a lead weight. Just holding everything back. And you get up too early and stay up too late because your time difference. You're like, it's only 11 o'clock in my body. And you're like, it's 2 a.m. Then you end up sick. That's how it happens.
It is how it happens.
I like the idea of the Bing Bong Buffet, little BBB. Welcome to the BBB. Steve says 8:30 leave the hotel, maybe stop for a fast breakfast, wander about an hour and a half, back by noon.
I may try and do that. I'm not sure. No promises, but I would love to do that.
It's nice because you come back nice and early, and it is fun to walk around. Red Rocks is really cool. I've hiked around there before.
Yeah,
it's really awesome.
Alrighty. Sorry, Mikey. Sorry.
No, you're good. Diz says we're going a day early and trying to find something interesting to get up to. Stephanie might be feeling bungee jumping.
I'm so
Would
down.
you be feeling bungee jumping as well? That'd be interesting. I can picture her doing it. I don't know. I can picture you being like, I'm going to film it from here. Thanks, babe.
Thanks, babe.
Rosie up in here. Hi.
I love you so much.
Rosie, how the heck are you? How in the poop are you doing?
Do you do acupuncture and bungee jumping?
You can do it once.
Talk about stress relief.
You can do it once. But if you miss, that needle going deep, and they can't pull those out.
You can't pull that out.
Sass Queen says, we're getting there Tuesday night. Rip. Yeah, we were... Actually, we still have to... We have to confirm about that. Yeah, no, I can't go up Tuesday.
What?
Because Pippin's getting surgery that day. So
no, we have to stream on Wednesday, too.
Yeah, but we could, in theory, stream from out there.
That's true.
I just think it's too...
We could actually... As one time, we could actually bring a bunch of stuff.
It's a bit too much with a newly snipped pup.
Yeah. I wouldn't hate it, but it's like $200, so that's tough. Jumping from a plane sounds more fun. Jumping from a plane is about the same amount of price as bungee jumping, and do that over bungee jumping.
Yeah.
I never bungee jumped, but
like, yeah, so...
Like, bungee jumping sounds fine, but like, I'm guaranteeing skydiving is significantly more fun and less scary, in my opinion.
Kind of weird.
Jumping from higher is less scary than jumping from not that high.
I'm just thinking what that thing snaps. I'm a big boy,
yeah,
so you know.
I'm a big boy.
Saskia says, you really want those needles.
You really don't want those needles to shift.
It could be cool.
Go from here to here, absolute paralysis.
Yeah.
Just like...
Rosie says, I'm good. Off today, just trying to relax. I feel you on that, man. That's awesome. We got sort of our half day set up on Wednesday, so we're about 15 minutes from being off work. I mean, this week's a little different, but they're even still are more chill.
Generally, yeah. Wednesdays we only usually have like a half day. Yeah. But yeah, so that I think is gonna be it for our Rum and Bones.
Not bad, man. Well, let's take a look here.
We've done
we gotta
some
be careful,
good
but
stuff.
we're gonna take a look at some of the things we've done here.
We've done a decent amount.
Yeah, man.
All these.
Was this one of yours? I think you did like the pink hair.
Yes.
Very cool.
I think we're missing some though. I feel like we're missing some of the
might be
some of
did
these
a couple
guys.
of
We've definitely
squiddies.
done. Yeah, they might be in the box.
Oh yeah, because you did your polka dot.
Yeah, we're missing some. But,
they're I think on the shelf behind us.
No, because I grabbed the ones. It might be in the box.
Oh yeah, maybe. That's pretty cool, man. Green pants, orange sash, nice blue vest, rock vest, and we got some pink hair. Very cool. Good wash on them. Very rad.
Very.
Good sword too. It's got some coolness to it.
Yeah, man, turned out good.
What you doing? Changing the zoomies.
Not zoom. Sorry. the focus. Yeah, I just want to get these in focus. Oh yeah. All right, so that's kind of where we're at with them. So yes, it's been and we'll probably do a second coat on the base at some point because they're a little splotchy. But yeah, so that is going to be probably it for Rum Bones. We're going to move on to doing some Games Workshop stuff, but then, or really ultimately a whole bunch of different stuff. We're going to constantly change it up. Because and the thing is, like, that's how I mean. There's 4 of these dudes left. Like,
so we've gotten through a decent amount, but still some more to do.
There's a lot to do.
And there's a whole human side, so you know.
And this isn't even all of them. There's one more. There's one more of the minion dudes, just the minions. There's 8 of those.
No, the bosuns.
The bosuns are done.
You did all the
all the bosuns are done. Okay. Yeah, and so there's a decent amount more of the bone devils, and then there's a whole human side. Although the human side, I've done all the bosuns, and I've done one of the dudes.
So we're over halfway done.
We're actually getting there.
So
we're close enough now. I might just bang the rest of them out, but
we could do some batch painting.
Yeah, and I do want to paint the heroes because the heroes in the game are really incredible. They're I mean, it's cool or not. You know, they're really good.
Yeah.
When do you leave for Yosemite? I leave early tomorrow morning. I was supposed to, basically, one of their other friends was supposed to go up with them on Thursday with Sam and David, who are the ones getting married. And that person had to duck out of going early, so they asked me to go to help set up. And so I am going up tomorrow. Mike is going up on Friday.
Early Friday.
Yeah, so.
Excuse me.
So, yeah, so I'll actually be going up tomorrow. And so that'll be it. That'll be our laugh for the week. I mean, I'll be there for Thursday.
Yeah, I'm going to
Friday, Saturday, we're coming back Sunday, so it's like not that long. And then Friday is setting up for the wedding, rehearsal dinner, and then Saturday is rehearsal for the ceremony, and then the ceremony.
No, I think the rehearsal for the ceremony is Friday.
Oh, you're right. It's like 4. Dinner. Yeah, it's like 4:30. Yeah, so then Saturday's the wedding, and then that's it.
Wedding's at like 4.
Yeah. So the whole day will just
be setup stuff ahead of time, but like it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be fun. You know, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. It's gonna be can't beat the location.
No,
I mean, I wish it was closer to here, but like if you're gonna drive, you should probably go to Yosemite.
During the winter, I'll take it.
Pretty.
Does this mean you'll be cutting your hair soon? No, I've always said that I can cut my hair once the wedding's over. I'm not saying I will cut my hair. I just said that I'm allowed to after the wedding. Not because, again, I keep like, I can't cut to the wedding. Like, as if Sam and David are like, asked me to have long hair. They don't care, but no, it's just my own personal thing. But no, I can't. I'm actually probably I'm gonna try to get my hair trimmed today. Not cut any length off. I just want it like evened out. Because since I started growing up my hair, which is like 2 years ago almost, when I started growing my hair, I haven't cut it at all. Like I haven't like evened it out. I haven't cut off you cut off like an inch or something like that to make it healthy. I've done nothing. So it's just it's just been my hair the whole time. So I want to cut it. I want to even it out. But I like my long hair. I really like it. I like the way it looks. I like having it. So I'm gonna keep it for a while. Plus I'm losing all my hair. So. Vicious hair is longer than mine. Yeah, his hair's getting long. I'm super down.
That's awesome.
After the Toast will chase you with scissors, probably, yeah. Quicksand said, what were your thoughts on Wonderland's War? I legitimately really liked it. I thought it was super fun.
It was cool.
I'm not necessarily thought I was going to dislike it, but I was kind of like unsure about I was like,
I didn't know much about it, so I was like, okay, let's see what we get into. I mean, I won, so that helps. But yeah, it was cool. I like that the players, like the little powers you can unlock are different and like pretty dang different.
Yeah.
So I unlocked 2 of them, but I only used one of them, but I used that one well. So that was cool, and the whole like being able to put stuff down and forge it to kind of access more things and unlock stuff. Like I wish I'd done a little bit more. I mean, I did ultimately get 3 of them, but again, it was right at the end of the game. So like, prioritizing things and like what chips to get, and especially now that a few of the chip powers have unlocked like multiples.
Yeah,
it's super cool. So now it's like, okay, well,
because that would be the only thing
do this, but in that game they do that,
and
they
will
be huge.
Are doing that. That's the only thing I would say. Like if they weren't doing this, and they are doing this, so it's a moot point specifically, not moot. Int moot is that it could get stale if the chips are always the same.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna be. So like, because again, quacks, you just think of new abilities for those chips and you're good to go. You know, it's like I really liked it. I thought it was really, really fun. Yeah, I thought it was really fun.
Rosie says, "Girl, I'll tell you all my hair secrets. You should. It says mine is officially past my butt, so we've entered.
Your hair is
territory.
long. Your hair has gotten super long.
Sasquatch says, "I like mine short. It's sassy like me. That's true. Your hair fits you. You know what I mean? Like, and especially when you color it and stuff, it's just like, yeah, dude. Like that's it feels like that's your soul, your essence, being reflected in your hair. I'm like, yes, that's who you are.
Yeah. Is that the long hair or just the shortest possible admin? Yeah, our sister Rosie, she
tall.
lost from here to here in a horrible accident. Yeah. So she's mostly hips neck.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not that hard to do.
It's not a wild look.
Yeah.
Quick sense, you should back it for $1.
For $1.
I think we should, because it will help with the community goals. And I am definitely going to think
about it. We'll definitely back it for $1 just to support it too.
We'll back Title Blades, you know. That's coming soon.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for that one. The minis will be fun to paint. You know what mini I really want to paint? I want to paint the mini in Abyss. The one rando super nice mini.
Abyss.
Yeah, like the rando super nice mini. That might be my next mini after I'm done with my unmatched stuff, just to kind of have like another little breather before I dive back into the world of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who says it? Yes, so far from 6,000. Yeah. What are they at? How many backers are they at?
They're 5 something. I was looking at it the other day.
We should back it for $1.
We'll back it for $1 for sure. Nothing else, just to support the Huddy. Because he living that Huddy life. That Huddy life is expansive. Baby. Oh, this is art, dude. This is just here all the time. It's a live video.
This is a live video.
There is someone who, by the way, streams a jar of peanut butter. That's all they do. And it's a jar of peanut butter.
And they have 66 viewers.
And they have 66 people watching them stream a jar of peanut butter. And I'm pretty okay with it. Damn on it, damn.
All right, my friends. We're going to ski-daddle up on out.
Yep, it's about that time.
Ruby says, I rock it. I could have let the accident get the best of me, and I didn't. I came out stronger, faster.
You are
faster. Be killed by conventional weapons.
That's true.
Because you don't legally have any organs.
That's right.
To pierce.
Like, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Nick your leg? Who cares?
Yeah, fine. No, fine. I have a cool scar. Thank you. I look rad now. That's awesome. Now, we're going to get out of here, folks. We are going to be, I will be live tomorrow.
Yeah, we can play.
I have no idea.
Mike can be, because I'm going to be gone, so Mike's going to be solo tomorrow.
It's probably going to be me solo. So I was trying to think about that. I think I might do Feast for Odin. I've never done the solo.
Oh, you should. You'll like it.
It's really fun.
It's really fun.
Thinking that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
TBD.
That's good.
But that's what I'm thinking. Feast solo styley tomorrow, and then it'll be up to Yosemite for me as well. I'll be joining you up there, and then we're gonna rock it and roll it, dude. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good time. But we'll see you all. I love you all. Tomorrow we have a fun blast from the past coming out.
That's right.
I was in a band when I was 13, and you're gonna get to see our one and only performance.
Yeah,
and just picture a 13-year-old drummer and a couple other teenage kids in the year 2000 coming out with hard rock music, and whatever you picture,
hard rock,
it's pretty much exactly that bad. So come on down. It's gonna be fun. And there'll be a little bit of a story time attached to it. Me kind of telling the tale.
Absentative.
So yeah. Anyway, folks, y'all are amazing. Rosie's gonna come down, drive down. She's gonna drive 6 hours.
Don't even
come stream. I'm literally never talking to you.
Thanks, Diz.
Thank you, Diz. Dab upon me, sir. Appreciate you. But yeah, love y'all. We'll see you very soon. Thanks for painting with us for another paint-tacular morning.
Paint-tacular.
Dang.